I told you when I came here that I came here only because of Mr. MacLeod. The minute I see that the whole thing is just repeating the same trash, all trash about economics and social this and that.
Welcome back to my channel where we retell the African history, and not just that, we tell it from the African perspective. Now, the African history is riddled with mystery, wrong choice of leaders, authoritarian rule, misappropriation of funds, and disappearance of government critics. I would say that it is a sad book to read, a horror movie to watch, and full of regrets. In today's video, we will be looking at Hastings Kamuzu Banda, Malawi's first president and one of the most learned dictators in the continent. He crushed anyone who was opposed to his leadership throughout his 33-year rule in Malawi. Hastings Banda was born in 1898 in Nyasaland, which was part of the British Protectorate of Central Africa and the present-day Malawi. Kamuzu joined primary school at the age of 7 and was baptized in John Hastings, who was a Scottish missionary. After completing his basic education, Hastings Kamuzu would travel all the way to South Africa, which is more than 2,700 kilometers, for greener pastures in the form of higher education and work. He arrived at Johannesburg and got admitted to a missionary school in the country and worked in the mines to facilitate his studies. In 1924, his life changed in a good way, winning a scholarship to Wilberforce Academy in New Jersey, America. He worked hard in his studies and graduated with the following degrees: a bachelor's degree in philosophy from Chicago and a doctorate in philosophy from Meharry Medical College in the US. He attained advanced medical qualifications from the Glasgow and Edinburgh Scottish Conjoint Triple Diploma in 1941. Between 1937 and 1957, Banda worked in Britain as a doctor, often in the remote areas. Those who interacted with him described him as a caring doctor whose prowess and professional code of conduct was enviable. While in Britain, Banda learned that the British wanted to join Nyasaland, his motherland, with northern and southern Rhodesia, which is the present-day Zimbabwe. He would be involved in a scandal with his former secretary and baby mama. Oh, so this baby mama issue started long time ago. Well, his secretary and baby mama at the time was Merene French. Allow me to explain a bit of what transpired. Merene French worked as Kamuzu's secretary when he practiced medicine in the UK. They would get into an affair, leading to a pregnancy which Kamuzu denied. Merene would bring up a commotion, forcing Kamuzu to escape from Liverpool, England to Ghana. But Merene would not give him a chance to breathe. She would follow him in Ghana, where he would ignore her entirely and start practicing medicine, helping female clients to procure abortions. The new scandal would soon go public and Kamuzu would be declared unfit to practice his career. The loser in the scandal, who is Kamuzu, would fly back to his motherland to fight for his people's freedom. The growing resistance would force the British in 1959 to send troops into Nyasaland to bring order back and ban the Nyasaland National Congress (NNC), which was headed by Kamuzu. Kamuzu with his cohorts would be arrested and taken to southern Rhodesia as prisoners in Gweru. He was released on April 1960 and the journey to independence began. He was elected as Nyasaland's prime minister in 1961 and the country would get full independence in July 1964, with Kamuzu Banda becoming the president and renaming it Malawi. 2 months after the independence, Banda changed his tune from the charismatic democratic leader known to Malawians to a full dictator. As a president, Banda left the British to run most of its economy, something which his cabinet were opposed to. To defend his stance, Banda claimed that the British contributed greatly to Malawi's economy and could not be wished away. Banda's subjects started to rebel against him, and in 1965, under the leadership of a former minister, Henry Chipembere, he was put under house arrest, but he managed to escape. Talk of having 9 lives like the cat. In 1966, he managed to sneak back to the ruling balls, helped write the country's constitution, and was elected unopposed. The same year, he declared Malawi a one-party state under Malawi's Congress Party, which made him call the shots. Old habits rarely wither, and that is what Banda did. Anyone who was opposed to his leadership was put behind bars, and he soon took control of every power source within the country. He planted spies everywhere. In 1971, Malawi's Legislative Council declared President Banda a president for life, which meant that the country could not hold any presidential elections as long as he lived. He would introduce and impose bizarre policies and rules to guide his subjects. He banned wearing of miniskirts among women, but the women who surrounded him walked barely dressed. He would also ban long hair, trousers, and revealing clothes among the women, and kissing in public. Every single business in Malawi was supposed to have his portraits on its walls, and no clock, watch, or poster was supposed to be higher than his on the wall. Before the start of any film in Malawi, a footage of Banda waving to his subjects was supposed to be shown, and the freedom of worship lay in his hands. Dogmas such as Jehovah's Witness were completely banned in Malawi during his rule. No film was supposed to show any form of nudity or romance, since every film was supposed to be censored and edited to fit Banda's requirements. According to human rights groups, around 6,000 people in Malawi were killed without trial during his rule. Others estimate that the number could be as high as 18,000, with the most common method of elimination being hitting a nail on a person's head like a carpenter would do to a piece of wood. Despite holding power for so long, he could not stop a freedom whose time had come. He had to give in to multipartyism in the country, and in 1994, he lost the presidential elections to his former minister, Bakiri Muluzi, ending an era of dictatorship. 2 years later, he was kicked out of Malawi Congress Party. He died in South Africa on 25th November 1997 in South Africa, aged 99. Before his death, Banda had acquired close to $800 million in property and cash, including private jets and bungalows. See you in the next video as we discuss the transatlantic slave trade in Senegal, Ghana, Angola, among other nations within the African coast of Atlantic Ocean. If this video resonates with your quest for African history, make sure you subscribe.